Yo, this is my Stamina AOE Necromancer build, so let's get right into our stats. We're going to run 20 health, 44 stamina. Our base recovery is going to be 700 magicka, 900 health recovery, 1600 stamina recovery, 4500 weapon damage, and 11% crit with 10k pen. Our stats fully buffed up with a potion is going to be 2500 stamina recovery, 1400 health recovery, 1200 magic recovery, and 5400 weapon damage with 22k resistances with 1500 crit resist. We are running the Serpent on this build for the extra recovery, and we're going to be running Takeaway Broth for increased max health and stamina right into our sets here. We're going to be running a one-piece Baron here for the extra mag and stamina recovery. For our 5-piece here, we're going to run Heartland's Conqueror. I think this set is amazing. It gives you increased effectiveness on your weapon trace by 100%, and it gives you double max stats with weapon and spell damage. The reason why this set is really strong, it allows us to stack double pen on the front bar and then stack power on the back bar. For our other set here, it's going to be Dagon's, which gives us weapon and spell damage, max stamina, weapon and spell damage, and then adds 500 weapon and spell damage to our AOE abilities. This is really strong, so this is the AOE spec. This allows us to pump out the most overall damage. For our traits here, we're going to be running well fitted on our boots, waist, arms, and shoulders, and then impen on impen head, reinforced chest, and impen leg. We're also running a heavy helmet, chest, and legs, and then our boots, waist, arms, and shoulders are all medium, with prismatic glyphs on our big pieces. The rest is max stam. Our Julia is going to be all infused, all weapon damage for maximum damage, and then we're going to be run a Malakath band to increase our weapon damage done by 16%, but decreases our critical damage by 50%. This is very strong, so it gives us a bunch of extra damage, which gives us a way higher burst window. If you don't have Malakath, I just recommend running Balorgs, or you can even run Ending Guardian. It's up to you. If you're not running Balorgs, I definitely recommend running crit pots and not tripods. You'll get more out of the crit pots than the tripod. You're not running Malakath since you're not getting that decrease in critical damage. For our weapons, we're running Mace Sharpened. This gives us the most overall damage with a shock glyph and a weapon damage glyph. And then we're running Powered on the back bar to give us that insane amount of healing. So weapon and spell damage 348 for our weapon damage glyph on our back bar. And this really what allows Heartland Conqueror to shine. So this gives us roughly the same pen as Springens, but also getting the 9% extra healing on the back bar, which cannot be underestimated. We are also running a Vatestrand Sword back bar to give us the most overall healing capability, and it's just a nice back bar set. Onto our skills here, running Boneyard, Caltrops, Blast Bones, Whirling Blade, and Flesh here. This gives us a bunch of damage with our 4 main damaging abilities, and they're all technically AOE, with our Dawnbreaker being our ultimate. So all of these abilities right here scale off Dagon's, which is massive, so that increases our damage tenfold. For our flexibility with this build, it will be Boneyard or Flesh here. You can definitely swap either of these out if you want, for abilities such as Quick Cloak here to get Major Expedition, or for Evasion here to get rid of snares. So we are running no snare removals on this build. For our back bar, we're running Spirit Guardian, Rally, Vigor, Mortal Coil, and Beckoning Armor. I prefer this morph over the other one since this applies massive pressure to range users, since it does pull them towards you, forcing them to spend 5k stamina to CC break, which can't be underestimated and gives you a lot of extra survivability taking this morph or the other one. And then Temporal Guard for the 5% minor protection on our back bar. If you are curious on what our heals are, I will show you them now. So this guy heals us for 6,900. Our Vigor heals for us for 25k, and our Mortal Coil heals us for 2,700, which is an insane amount overall. And just, you cannot underestimate that fully. When we have negative effect on us, this goes up to 29,000, which is just amazing and insane amount of healing you get on the back bar. You want to get pretty much all your passives if you can. Most of them are useful on the Necromancer. Orc for the race, I think Orcs is just my favorite race to run with the movement speed passive here. If you want to be tankier, you can run Nord. If you want to do, you can run Wood Elf, that's fine as well. Imperial's good for more cost reduction and more max stats. They're all good options. I just prefer to run Orc, but there's definitely other options for that. Another thing is, if you want to be overall more tanky, I recommend putting Protective on the jewelry here. This will make you tankier without sacrificing your sustain, and you'll just lose some overall damage. Other abilities you can run instead of Resilient Flesh here is Purge. CP for blue, we're going to be running Duelist Rebuff, Master at Arms, Swift Renewal, and Biting Aura. We run Master at Arms and Biting Aura for the most overall damage, and then we run Swift Renewal Heal for more overall healing, since most of our healing are dots, and this can really pump those up. For our last one, we are running Duelist Rebuff. This one is your flex dots and whatnot, or areas of effects. You can put that there instead, but I do like this one since I mainly get bursted by a single target, and this is the best way to prevent that. Or you can even run Resilience. Make sure you get all the blue passives, since majority of them are useful and whatnot. Onto our red tree here, we're going to be running this passive, and Vitality here. So we get Armor, Max Health, and Extra Sustain. And then the best red tree passive, in my opinion, is Survival Instinct. Insanely increases your sustain and really does help you with sustain issues, and this is a must-have in the red tree. I recommend once again getting all your red passives, since majority of them are useful, and even getting Master Tenacity, even though this contradicts with the other passive, have status effects onto you most of the time anyways. This gets rid of them quicker, which will help you out in fights. Onto our green tree now. This is just more for fun, nothing really combat related except liquid efficiency, which helps you save on some potions and poison. Alright, so the main way you want to play the build, you want to make sure you're keeping your hots up for the majority of the fight. Always open with the props. You can place the boneyard down and proc it right off the bat, since this does do a hefty 17k. Our blast bone does 19,000, our whirlwind does 9,400, and our downbreaker does 20k, which is a lot of AOE burst damage. This is relatively easy to proc. You open with the blast bones into the boneyard, boneyard, and then you go into whirlwind to execute. When you want to use Dawnbreaker is just before the Blast Bones hit, so it does max overall damage. So as the Blast Bones running at the opponent, you then want to Dawnbreaker them down, and then proc Boneyard, and then spin to win. If you have any questions regarding the build, I'll be happy to answer anything down in the comments below, and I hope you guys enjoyed.